We're getting new details on how protesters may have known their way around the Capitol. New video from the January 6th committee raising questions about what happened the day before the riot on the 5th. The video released ahead of today's hearing shows Republican Congressman Barry Loudermilk of Georgia giving a tour of the House office building on January 5th. One member of the group is seen taking pictures in places tourists aren't usually allowed, including stairwells and at a security checkpoint. The committee says that man also shot video outside the Capitol on January 6th, where he could be heard making threats against Speaker Nancy Pelosi, among other lawmakers.
It has begun here at the Washington Monument, Washington, D.C. Say hello to Facebook.
Hey, what's going on, man? Glad to be here, bro.
This is our fearless leader.
Hey, baby.
Danny Hamilton.
Check out my flag I made, guys. See it? There you go, baby. That's for a certain person.
That's right. That's for somebody special. Somebody special. All right. We are basically at the Capitol with probably close to 2 million true American patriots. They are swarming and converging, mainly from Constitution Avenue, but from all routes in. There's no escape, Pelosi, Schumer, Nadler. We're coming for you. We're coming in like white on rice for Pelosi, Nadler, Schumer, even you, AOC. We're coming to take you out. We'll pull you out by your hairs. How about that, Pelosi? Might as well make yourself another appointment. I'll get done with you. You're going to need a shine up on top of that bald head.
Talking about scalping the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Congressman Loudermilk first denied giving a tour the day before the Capitol attack, but last month he released a statement then admitting he did bring constituents into parts of the Capitol complex, calling the tour, quote, harmless. Here is what Loudermilk told reporters about that tour yesterday.
Do you know who that man was in the video?
I don't know him. I'd never met him before.
But he was on that tour with you?
I don't know. I never saw the guy on the video.
In the video, it clearly shows an individual taking photos of a security checkpoint in the basement that leads to the Capitol.
What they were taking a picture of is I took the family, and of course the other folks were with them, have 2 young kids that wanted to see the little trains that take congressmen. So I took them to show them where the trolley was in the Rayburn Tunnel.
But why do you think pictures were being taken of the stairwell, around security?
If you go to that stairwell, there's a Golden Eagle sconce that's on the wall. That's what he was taking a picture of. I mean, these are folks who had never been to Washington, D.C., and they were excited.
Why not just speak to the committee and just...
Because the committee's never called me and asked me anything.
They sent a letter asking for your voluntary cooperation.
They never sent it to me.
Committee says it did send a subpoena to the congressman there. So obviously, Joe, the congressman has changed his story many times. First said he hadn't given a tour at all. Now he's talking about how he gave the tour, said he was cleared by Capitol Police. He did receive a letter saying they didn't think it was suspicious. But now we have video of this happening. I want to say again, the Capitol complex was closed to the public on January 5th. There should have been no tour at all because of COVID. You served in Congress. You've given these tours. Are these the kind of places you would take visitors?
No, not at all. And it's obvious he's lying. I've given a lot of tours. And I would say, even, my God, 25 years ago, 26 years ago, if I were taking a small group around and some jackass was taking pictures of security, places where security was, I'd turn and, especially like he's taking pictures of metal detectors and going through, I'd go, hey, Inspector Clouseau, give me your phone, jackass, or I'm going to break it into a million pieces, and we're going to delete these pictures. Because this is so obviously beyond the pale. There are no little trains. There are no sconces of beautiful big bald eagle golden sconces. Like as you're walking through the security, And again, I am given a lot to you wouldn't take people through this part of the Capitol. Here, it looks like they are going down to see the trains. But in the other areas, again, where he's taking pictures, there's no excuse. And by the way, if you're going on a tour of what look like 5 or 6 people, you know the people on the tour.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're a member of Congress, you're not giving tours to people you don't know.
Joe?
You're not giving tours to people you don't talk to. And Mika, you certainly aren't giving tours on days when the Capitol is closed.
And what? So one of these people are seen in the video during the attack on the Capitol, as we showed. Why doesn't he care now?
I mean, that's a question. Like for instance, so let's say, for instance, I had given a tour to 5 or 6 people, and 1 or 2 of those people were involved in the riots. I would immediately, my chief of staff would come in, would go, "Hey, I think we got a problem here." You know, those
Exactly.
people that asked for the tour and you gave them the tour, they were part of the riots. And we've got real problems, and one of them's acting very suspiciously. I will tell you, we would have picked up the phone immediately. We would have called the Capitol Police, said we got a problem. If the Capitol Police said everything was cool, we would call the speaker, we would call the majority minority leader, we'd call law enforcement authorities if the Capitol Police.
I mean, you gave a
weren't going
tour to an insurrectionist.
Right. If you
you gave
right.
a tour to someone who participated in the attack on the Capitol. Don't you care now? You don't care now. You're waiting for them to call you. You're looking all innocent. Like they didn't call me. I don't know. I mean, they never reached out to me.
Yeah, well,
really?
he lied.
That
Again,
seems strange.
Well, it's extraordinarily suspicious. It's obvious he's lying. He lied about giving a tour the day before. And he's lied about the committee reaching out to him. They've subpoenaed him, according to the committee. And again, Willie, this is just the sort of thing, if for some reason we had given this tour in my congressional office, then January 6th happened, alarm bells would have gone off immediately. And anybody who really cared about this country, anybody who cared about getting to the bottom of this riot, to this insurrection, would immediately call the cops and say, hey, we got a problem here. This guy didn't do it. Everything this guy did suggested that he was there helping them get intel to case the joint for January 6th. Let him out, Mel, or whatever your name is, you're part of the insurrection. He's part of the insurrection. He helped a guy case the joint. That's what it looks like. So now the burden of proof seems to be on him. Why? Because he's lied repeatedly. And he's even lying about this guy taking pictures of again, the security, the metal detectors, that area where they walk in. Again, I gave hundreds of tours through the years. Nobody I ever know went up. I seriously, I would have walked over and said, what the heck are you doing? This is just really weird, suspicious behavior, and it demands a member of Congress to go over, especially understanding that the next day is a day that Trump said was going to be really wild, that Bannon said all hell was going to break loose, that he knew people were coming in town to raise hell about January the 6th, especially when, you know, people were talking about raising hell. Trump was talking about what a wild day January 6th was. Steve Bannon was saying all hell's breaking loose. And you know this is happening. And I'll say it one more time. If you don't do it on January the 5th, because you're just dumb, you do it on January the 7th and say, hey, I think we got a problem. He never did.
And ask yourself why he lied about it. Initially said, I didn't give any tours at all because he knew how bad it looked. There are, of course, cameras all over the Capitol. Now we're seeing that. This isn't exactly a new revelation either. Remember, Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill of New Jersey and others said the day after January 6th, there was something going on January 5th. There were congressmen giving tours to people who shouldn't have been in the building. The Capitol complex was closed. Now I wonder why they were giving those tours.
One other thing, that other people have brought this up today, not an original thought. The Capitol Police need to answer for why they waved this off and said this wasn't suspicious. They know this is suspicious. Who in the Capitol Hill Police Force said this wasn't suspicious? When any of us looking at this know it's suspicious. On January the 5th, when it's closed, they're obviously casing the joint. We got, again, a guy in the CIA saying, hey, it's my job to investigate these sort of things throughout my CIA career. It's obvious a guy was casing the joint.